Hi, I'm Joseph Samuel Wright, and I am doing a quick recap of the first episode of the current season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Just to start this off, I want to say as a general note that I thought it was a really fun episode, and I think they've got a great cast this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing these diverse characters with big personalities who have creative ideas pull things out and come together and fight a little bit. We all like that. And I think just overall this is going to be a great season, so I'm looking forward to it a lot. And since this is the season where we more or less meet everyone, I'm going to focus on impressions that I've taken of each queen. And I'm basing this both on the first episode and the first episode of Untucked, which I always like to watch on the elliptical so that I can get as low impact a workout as possible while doing cardio. Um, to start this off, I'm going to talk about the thing that everyone wants to talk about with RuPaul's Drag Race, which is predictions for who's going to make it to the end. Instead of a final three, I've given myself a top five prediction. So my prediction who will be the final five in this, because I feel I don't have enough information to get to three, and I didn't want to push myself. So I'm saying Kimchi, Acid Betty, Derek Barry, assuming Derek Barry comes together in the way that we hope she will, Bob the Drag Queen, and Thorgy Thor. And I acknowledge that I have put all three New York queens in my top five, and that might be because I am biased toward the city that never sleeps, as I lived there for 6 years, so I just, I groove with their energy completely, and I'm into it. But, so it's unlikely, I think, that the producers would let all three New York queens make it to the end, but I'm still going to put them in my final five. I'm going to start with Derek Barry because I already threw a little bit of shade that direction, so I might as well just jump into it. I really want to like Derek Barry. I'm super into what she's doing, but I think there are two things that give me pause. One was, especially in Untucked, there was a hint that maybe Derek Barry isn't the cool chick we want her to be. Bob the Drag Queen picked up on that, and I think it is possible that maybe she's a little bit more of a bitch than I would like, and not in the fun way that Acid Betty is a cunt and you love it, but in like a way that nobody really wants to get on board for. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but it might be, and if so, then I'm gonna lose interest quickly in Ms. Barry. But I also think one of the things that we saw in that Untucked was, at least the way it was edited, made to seem as though we were watching Derek Barry talk herself into doing more Britney, even though obviously she shouldn't do too much Britney. And if that's the case, she's not going to last very long. And I think it's interesting that Derek Barry compares herself to Chad Michaels. I think that's the wrong comparison. Yes, Chad Michaels is known for doing Cher, but that's really not all Chad Michaels does. And I think what's a more apt comparison is Courtney Axe and the criticism that she was resting on Pretty. I think that's more what the judges are going to react to in Derek Barry doing Britney over and over again, and I think that's something that should be more the worry, but we'll see how it goes. But so going through my choices for the top five to start, and I have a little, I didn't feel like printing anything, so I'm just doing it on my phone, so hopefully you can see it. But I'm going to start with Kimchi, who obviously won this and totally deserved to. I'm super into what she's doing. She's incredibly creative, really fun. She's doing her own thing. Definitely deserved to win this. I think that she'll go all the way, and I think that the question that came up of whether or not she was always going to do these high concept drag outfits, I think that's fine if she does it. I think all she's going to need to do is like once or twice do a look that isn't high concept, that's just glamorous or whatever, and that'll be all she needs to seal it. She's going to go all the way. Cannot wait to see what's next. Acid Betty, who I think is going to be one of the least popular girls in the dressing room, I think is going to go all the way as well. I think she's super funny and super smart, and she's mean and acerbic, and I love it. I'm totally into it. I want to watch her every week. I want to watch a ton of her. Derek Barry, we already talked about. I'm not going to go into that. I will say, so here's my, if Derek Barry is in the final five, my standby would be Naomi Smalls, and I'll come back to her. But so Bob the Drag Queen, definitely going to go all the way, I think. No doubt. May even win this whole thing. Just super charismatic and fun and funny and, doesn't take herself too seriously. All the things that I love. I will say that I feel like in this episode we saw a lot more of people talking about how funny Bob the Drag Queen is than we actually got to see Bob the Drag Queen be funny. So I'm hoping in future episodes we'll see more of her comedy. And I think we will. And then Thorgy Thor, who I think is so much fun, and maybe she won't make it to the top 5, but I want her to because she's really charming. She sort of to me is like a Tammy Brown who you understand what's happening. Like, all the sort of fun and whimsy and quirkiness of Tammy Brown without any of the, like, I'm afraid this person's insane that you get sometimes with Tammy. Like, I think Thorgy Thor's going to be great. Talking about the two who were in the bottom, I think that was correct. I think all three in the bottom were correct, actually. Robbie Turner totally screwed the pooch on this challenge, pun intended. And sorry, I'm gonna just Robbie Turner. I really wanted to love Robbie Turner because she does the old Hollywood glam, which I am obsessed with, and so came in rooting for her, but she's just mean. Like, she just was mean the whole time. I think that the most likely scenario in this is that she's going to go a long way because she's going to be kept around as the villain for the show. I mean, obviously, Acid Betty is going to give her run for money on that department, but I think that Robbie's mean. She's being set up as the villain, so she might stick around for a while for that reason. But she certainly deserves to be in the bottom three. But I think that Layla McQueen, Naysha Lopez, either one of them could have gone home. I'm glad that we're going to see more of Layla McQueen because watching the Meet the Queens videos before the first episode, I really liked her video, so I want to see more of her. I feel like we didn't get to see any of the great stuff we saw in her intro video in this episode, so I'm hoping we're going to see that in future episodes if she sticks around past episode 2. And I thought that Naysha Lopez was lovely, but she didn't quite hit this challenge, and this is a weird thing to say, but even though no one wants to be the one who goes home first, I thought she did it very well. She was graceful, but really emotional, and gave you all the things you wanted, and then, like, sort of turned it on for a great, like, exit quote. In Untucked, I thought she was, much as no one wants to go home first, she was the perfect person to go home first. She did it fabulously. Looking at my middle queens, I already talked about Naomi Smalls a little bit. She, I think, is great. I want to see her for as long as possible because I think she's fabulous. I loved, let's see, her sort of promo look, we'll call it. I haven't been pulling these pictures up, but you watch the show, you know what they look like. I am going to say, though, that, where is it? The, like, big collar thing in the promo I was obsessed with. I think it's fabulous. I loved the, like, cute little 70s gold dress she did. People said it was simple. I thought it was simple fabulous. And so I'm really in, like, she has style for days. I cannot wait to see more from her. Chi Chi DeVayne, I think, is going to be really, really fun. They're obviously setting her up for a Cinderella story, and I think it's going to be great to watch. I don't think she's going to go all the way because I'm not sure she has the chops and the tools yet. I think in a couple years she could totally take it. I think at this point, though, she's going to go home, and we're going to hate to see her go. Like, I think that's how that's going to play out. Cynthia Fontaine is super charming and really fun, and I love that she admitted in Untucked gladly that she pumps. I think that's great because, you know, if that's what you want to do, then you should do it, and you should be proud of it. You should love it. So I like that. I like her energy. I like everything about her. I hope she sticks around and keeps infusing that. I think that just leaves Dax exclamation point, which is a fitting person to end on because she was honestly the one who made the least impression to me. She was literally the last person who I managed to, like, get a name and a face connection to, where I was like, okay, next time someone says Dax exclamation point, I will know which queen we're talking about. She was the last one. But overall, I think it's a great group. I can't wait to see more. I'm a little behind, but I'm going to catch up. And I am going to make a prediction for who is going home next week. And I think that prediction is going to be Dax exclamation point, simply for what I said, that I feel like we saw not much of her. And so, not that excited about her yet, so maybe we won't see much of her. Maybe she'll just go home. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be doing these recaps once a week. Again, I am Joseph Samuel Wright, and I will see you for the next episode. I meant to say, and I forgot, this coat is INC. I got it at Macy's online. This sort of strappy thing you can see under here is Andrew Christian. I'm also wearing Andrew Christian shorts, which you can't see, which is probably for the best because they are rather revealing. Leave in the comments what you think, and let's get to discuss them, because the half the fun of watching Drag Race is talking about it afterwards with everybody. And this tank top is from Target.